Hey guys, happy Friday. I am so excited. It's Friday. What a week it's been. Welcome to the TED Show. It's Friday, May 24th, 2019. Super excited to have, first of all, paparazzi behind me. And my new friend, Rania Arwani, right? Did I do it right?
Yes,
all right.
perfect.
See? Whew, that's only because it's early enough in the day, Rania. I'm very excited to have you on here. I know you've got a great story. You are obviously friends with my friends, Vikai and Pablo, who are behind the scenes over here. Hey, Allie, what's up? Let us know you can hear us or see us because you're going to, and Yvonne Sandoval's on. You wanna hear her story. I'm excited to hear her story. She's done this before. What's up, Allie? She's obviously done this before, so I love it when I'm with a pro. She doesn't even have any water, guys. I love that too. She's just gonna go through the desert with me. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm super excited. So obviously origin story is super important to these guys. The more that they can know about you, the better. So tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Okay. I'm from Syria. I'm half Syrian and Turkish, and I moved to the U.S. in 2000. I got married back then, moved to Texas, and from there.
Wow, how was that culture shock from Syria and?
No, I never lived in Syria.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not. I lived in Dubai. I grew up in Dubai.
Okay, I was gonna say, Dubai to Texas. What part of Texas did you move to?
Dallas.
Okay, well that's at least big city-ish, right?
Yeah, I mean Dubai's
big city. That's
Dubai
giant.
Is big city. Yeah.
I've never been there, but I've always wanted to go. And I haven't told the staff behind us, but we're live. We're live. Just so you know. I wanted them to know. I forgot. They've been so good to me today, so I'm not giving them a hard time. It's just I didn't give them a forewarning. So Dubai, I've always wanted to travel to.
Beautiful.
Always wanted to be there. I think the buildings are big and giant and all that good stuff.
Yes.
But the weather seems crazy.
The weather is horrible.
Isn't there also some drinking issues that anybody like me would have a hard time with? Maybe.
Probably.
Okay, good. All right, so you live in Dubai. Why did you move to Texas?
I met my ex.
You met your ex.
Ex.
Okay, so we're at ex already.
We are, yeah.
Earlier today I had somebody that said, don't mention my first husband. I said, I didn't know you had one, so don't worry about it. So that was your ex, but what was the point of the move?
We got married. He lived in Texas.
Okay, so how did you meet him?
He was visiting over in Dubai.
Okay. I don't want to talk all day about him. I just am curious how somebody gets from Dubai to Dallas.
Well, I was at my dad's office that day, and he happened to be with one of his friends. He saw me, I saw him, and...
Was love at first sight?
No.
Of course it wasn't. It's called an ex, guys. So you come to Dallas, and then what happens there? What was your career? What were you doing?
I was barely going to, I graduated high school at that point, going to university.
You did?
Yes, I just graduated, going to university. So barely started college.
And did you finish college over here?
I did.
Okay, in Dallas or in Texas?
Finished college in Dallas, Texas, and then I moved to Orlando in 2011 and finished. I went to Bay Law School, did my law degree. I have my JD, and I'm an attorney now. So yeah.
Wonderful. All right, why an attorney? Did you grow up around attorneys or?
No. My family business people. My dad is a businessman. Yeah, but why an attorney? Yes, my father. So why an attorney? Well, there is a long story behind it. A very inspirational.
Tell us. Hi, Cecily says hi, beautiful people.
Hi, Cecily.
She's awesome.
Cecily Wilson.
Yes.
Rania, I love you.
She's been on the show. She's awesome.
I love her. Okay, so the reason I became an attorney is because, and I'll give you just the 30-second answer.
You give us as short or as long as you want. You know I'm going to ask questions. So
well, you'll ask me all the questions. So the reason is I was in court one day, and a prosecutor stood there, pointed at my ex, and told the jury, this guy needs to end up in jail for everything he did to her. And that was the first time I felt that someone gave me a voice. And that was the day I decided I have to give this back. Someone gave it to me, and I will give it back.
So you were in a bad situation, and somebody was your advocate.
Yes.
Somebody became your advocate. Isn't that amazing how that changes? Like your whole thought process changes on a dime. Somebody's actually speaking up for you. But a lot of people say that they want to do that. You actually took it to the next level.
I did.
So was it a difficult journey going through law school and doing that? Was it, and did you want to be in family court? I'm imagining that's where that was.
Yeah.
Is that where your passion lies?
Yes, my passion lies in protecting the abused, the vulnerable, the people who don't have a voice, men or women. It doesn't matter. I mean, men and women, both of them, both sexes actually do get abused.
Absolutely.
By either party. So let me give you background. So I married my ex in 2000, came to the States, and he immediately was extremely violent.
You didn't have any clue before. People are going to
No
ask me
idea.
that later, right?
No idea.
So no idea. So there were no clues leading up.
No idea.
He hid it. He was good at hiding it.
He hid it.
Yeah.
Very good at hiding it.
That happens.
And I was alone. I had no family around me, no friends. I mean.
Oh, you were the perfect victim. Then.
Perfect victim.
Yeah.
And we had our first child and then our second child. And his thing was, if you tell anyone, I will get you deported, and you will never see the kids again.
See, this is what a serial abuser does. They know what the weak spots
Yeah.
are. They take advantage.
Yeah.
It's why when people talk about those 3 women that were held for 10, 15 years, they get inside your head and they hold things over you that you're afraid of.
Yes.
You don't want to be deported. You don't want him to take the kids.
I don't want
So you feel completely helpless.
And I did not know the law. That was a major issue. I did not know the law. Had I known the law back then, I would have probably gotten out sooner.
Sure.
And that's kind of what that prosecutor did. I had no idea. So the day I left, it was 4.5 years later, the day I left, I was in the hospital, in the ER, and a nurse told me, if you don't leave, the next time you're here, you'll be brought in a body bag. So that kind of...
So the medical profession
Yes.
understood what you were going
Yes.
through. Wow.
And I still said nothing. I did not tell her what happened, but
Wow.
later on, it's like God just put women in my path. The investigator, because of that attack, was a female. The prosecutors, both of them were female. The judges were female.
Wow.
Family law judge, the criminal judge, both of them females. Amazing. My family law attorneys, females. I did not seek females. It just, they were in my path, telling me, you can do it, you will do it. So it was,
I feel like more men and women, but women, I do a lot with Harbor House locally,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like people don't get out for all of these interesting reasons, and if
Yeah.
you're on the outside or haven't experienced it,
Yes.
you don't understand why you wouldn't get out.
You have no
But it's
idea.
this mental game, and it's mental and physical, and you really are a prisoner.
Yeah.
In the house. You're a prisoner, and you're a prisoner of your fears because they know exactly what buttons to push. Remember, these are serial whatever they are, psychopaths, sociopaths, and they do this stuff. They know exactly what they're doing, and then you feel like you have no way out.
You feel you have no way out. You feel that, especially when it comes to children, your own children,
Sure.
very young children. Any parent would give their life for their children.
Absolutely.
So to me, it was not even negotiable. When it comes to the children, I'm not going to leave them with this person.
It also
Even
plays
though-
on your brain, right? You begin to feel, this is what I hear. I've interviewed, because of Harbor House, I've interviewed a lot of people who've gone through that program. You begin to question your own sanity. You go, I'm an educated, intelligent human being. Why am I continuing to allow this to happen? But it really gets in your soul, your heart, and you begin to believe the crap that they're feeding you.
Yeah.
And then you're so protective. You want to make sure the kids aren't taken away, or they don't. I had one person who was on the show that they killed their dog. That was their threat. I've had people on who were afraid of being deported. She's a hero. Faye Barrows comes on. Faye, right?
Hi,
P?
Faye.
Hi, Faye. Thanks, Shelley. So I feel like that story is so important. So what was the final catalyst? You had all these women around you, and you said, all right, this is my time. Did you have to make an escape? Did you have to make a report? Because people don't realize that is so difficult to get out.
So it took me approximately, I would say, 6 months to get out. It
Wow.
does not happen overnight. And unfortunately, women who leave, there are statistics. It takes them 7 tries to succeed. It does not happen just, oh, I'm going to leave, pick up and leave. It does not happen that way. And I think the statistics are, I think 80% of women who leave abruptly end up being murdered by the abuser.
Because the threat is real.
Oh, it is.
These people aren't messing around,
Oh,
guys.
no.
If you're going to
Oh, no.
beat up somebody, you're physically violent, and you're already playing mind games in a really crazy way. It's only a teeny bit of a step further to take it to the nth degree.
So the last time it happened, you're talking about how bad it is. I partially lost my eyesight. I temporarily lost my memory. I would look at my kids. I could not remember their names. And I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. But that's when I left, and that was the time that the nurse told me, if you don't leave, you're gonna come back in a body bag. You're not gonna come back as as an injured victim.
So if somebody's watching, Rania, and they want to get out, what was that next step? You said it does take a while. Guys, I get it. Or there's a lot of flee, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of flee. A lot of people go literally, that's why it's an emergency shelter,
yes,
harbor houses, and we have other ones. But what was your planning? What did you have to do? Did you get your friends involved? Did you get your family involved? Or were you working within the system?
No. I worked within the system. What happened is, I had no friends. My family is in Dubai. I had no one. So he took advantage of that.
Well, they isolate. What happens is they truly isolate out. The abuser is really good at that. That's why they don't have a lot of friends. That's why they don't have an out. They feel like the abuser's it, and they don't have anywhere to go.
Yes. So what I did is, of course, I started talking to, back in Texas, what we have here as Harbor House. And I would talk to them, I would communicate with them. I did not want to, they were urging me to pick me up and take me to the shelter.
Sure.
I was still afraid at that point to leave, because what if he actually cancels my green card? I did not know that he could not do that.
Right.
And even when they told me, I did not believe them, until they had an immigration attorney talk to me and tell me, he cannot do this to you. There is no way he can do this to you. And then, okay, now that he can't do it, what do I do? So I ended up going to an attorney, filing for divorce. The state attorney moved forward with their charges against him. They arrested him. It all happened overnight. He got arrested, kicked out of the house. I got protection for the kids and myself, and it started. And
so what happens though? So you get there. Remember that these people don't give up, because they feel that particular individual feel like, oh God, I lost this for a minute. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to get it back, and by getting it back, they're going to try to get back at you. They're going to, whatever it does to make sure that they're still in charge. So what happens is you still have that feeling. You're looking over your shoulder. You're not sure what's going to happen. How did you get everybody into a stable position? How did you make it there? What did you do? Was law school it? Was that it? It became your voice and that helped you? Or what did you do to get in this place finally where you can come on a show and talk about it? I have a lot of victims that can't come on and talk. They're still too afraid of their abuser.
Well, the last time it happened was 2005. So it's been a long time. The first time I ever came out was at the I Am Brave conference, September of last year. So it took me a very long time. When I left, I remember when I left early in the divorce, and for a few years, I could not fall asleep if the lights were out. The lights in the entire house had to be on, with cameras in and outside the house. This guy was a dangerous guy. So it took me time. It took me a while to be able to get to where I am. Of course, what helped me is having what I call my hero, which is my attorney. I love her to death. She is an amazing attorney in Texas. She was able to get me to where I am now by helping me move from Texas to Florida with the relocation. Every other attorney knows that moving from one state to another, relocating with the kids, is extremely difficult.
Right.
And I have no family, so why would I move?
Right.
Right. Him and his family and everyone lives in Texas, so he had a strong case in keeping me. but she's an amazing attorney.
She's
she
obviously an amazing attorney. I love that.
She's amazing. So of course, moving here kind of helped fix.
Sure.
Was the start of getting to where I am.
And so you go to law school.
Yes.
All right, so I love this. I love it when people take their story, their journey, and they're actually implementing it in something that they're becoming an advocate, a supporter in our community, in our world, because of what they went through.
Yes.
So you go through and you get out into the system.
Yeah.
How was that here in Florida compared to Texas?
I love it. I love every minute of it. I tell everyone, if you have passion for what you do, you will never work a day in your life.
Amen to that.
And I don't work. I actually don't work. I go to the office at 5:30 in the morning because I love what I do. I love what I do.
Your clients, who I know really become important to you, especially with the nature of what you deal with.
Yes, it becomes personal.
Becomes personal for you.
Yes.
Because you experience it. You have a very unique position with them.
I do.
Because you have been through it. So everything that they're feeling or have gone through, you can actually say, I get it. And a lot of times when attorneys are doing, they haven't lived the story that you've lived.
Yes, yes.
And so what do you think some of the challenges are for women and men who are in those relationships, that you could give them some advice on what you should do, what step you should take first? Is it reaching out to a Harbor House? Is it reaching out to a you?
Harbor House.
Harbor House.
Cops, 911. It is not okay for someone to abuse anyone. If it's a child, if it's, an adult, whoever it is, a senior, like a parent, it's not okay for anyone to abuse or hurt or be violent with somebody else.
Agreed.
And a person who does that will never change. It will only get worse.
Are you guys hearing that? Because that is the God's honest truth.
It will never stop.
Yeah.
It will only get worse. It will end. Maybe it will end in 20, 25, 15. I don't know how long it will take. Maybe in a month, but it will end bad. I'm an abuse victim as a child. So my father was incredibly abusive, and so that person changed colors but never changed. And so his fourth wife, I won't even mention, his subsequent relationships, they all saw a different side of him because they didn't have children with him. But those kinds of people, I'm aware firsthand those people do not change, guys. So if you're trying to change your significant other, if you're trying to change your partner, whatever that is, and they're already abusive, trust me, it's just not going to change. Yes.
It's not going to change. And I think a lot of people think they get into a relationship, either they're like you, where you had no clue, and they're really good at that too, or you put up with it in the beginning thinking, well, he's going to change or she's going to change when we get married. When we live together. And it's just not going to happen, guys. And so I love that comment because people do want to change other people. And you can firsthand say that's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Right.
It only gets worse.
How are your kids?
Amazing.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Doing excellent.
And so that is, are they aware? A lot of people that come in, they're afraid to tell their kids the stories. They're afraid to share. How much of that do they remember? How much of it has impacted them? And obviously, if they're amazing, they're doing super well. I mean, I'm sure that's because mom is their biggest mama bear advocate on the planet. But how has that impacted them? Are they familiar with the story? What do they know?
Well, when I left him, my son was a few months old. And, I mean, just to add to the story, I had my son at 27 weeks because he attacked me. So I almost lost my son.
Wow.
He attacked me, he left me in the middle of the highway one day, went into labor and
That's a whole nother animal.
That's a whole other story for a different day. But, so he was, I mean, of course, I had him and he was not breathing. I thought I had lost him. But he's doing perfect.
I love
amazing.
that.
So the reason they know is because he had access to them, and for a period of time, he abused them. So of course that this happened to them, they know, and now they're teenagers, and we know like online and the internet, all they have to do is put their mom's name.
All they have to do.
And they can find all the documents that they can read. And they asked me, I think it was 3 years ago. My daughter Dana asked, Mom, I went online and I checked, and why did Dad go to jail? And I read everything, and I know what happened because I've never told them.
Wow.
Oh, no, never told them. I would never tell them. I didn't tell them.
How'd you respond to that?
I said, you're too young. Let's not talk about it. Why are you searching your mom on the internet, And she's like, I don't know. I was just bored, and I just started like Googling your name. Like, Dana, stop. And
please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that to me either, guys,
no.
by the way. It's not a good, pretty scene right there.
So that's how she found out.
Yeah.
Of course, I told her we're not going to talk about it, and once she's an adult, we can talk about it.
Sure. Well, because it's traumatic, right? It's traumatic overall, and kids remember. Hello, I'm not 30 anymore, and I remember absolutely every moment of that terror. And so you don't forget it. You just don't, guys. So if you think that your kids are going to be okay, or you're staying in a relationship because you want them to be with partner X or partner Y, and there's anything going on in the house, they never forget it. And I can speak that truth as a victim. So Aisha Hassan says, love Rania, such a strong woman with an incredibly inspiring story.
Thank you, Aisha.
So what's on the horizon for you?
Well,
Political office?
no.
I don't know. Sounds like you could run. I'd vote for you.
No, I actually have a TED Talk coming up in September.
Nice.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yeah.
What's the topic? Unintentional Hero?
Unintentional Hero.
I love that. Where'd you come up with that name?
Because I actually, I have unintentional heroes in my life. And they are every man and woman who came into my life to help me get to where I am right now. And before I got out, I did not know, I did not expect or imagine the support you get from the people around you that you don't even think they're going to support you.
Right.
It's people who are unrelated to you, have never seen you. I remember I was in school one day in Texas. I was still, my undergrad, and professor who saw me maybe we had the third class we had together, and I looked sick, and I had some bruises over my face, and he was adamant that he is gonna take me to the ER. I'm not letting you go. I'm gonna drive you to the ER right now if we're not gonna call the cops or whatever. And he would, he's my professor.
Right.
And he does not know me from, he does not know me from anybody else.
Isn't that amazing? How I love that. So they're unintentional heroes. I like that. I've had a lot of those in my life too, growing up as a kid. Most definitely, a ton of them. I call them angels, but I like unintentional heroes because that's basically what they are to me. I still talk to many of them who stepped in or tried to help when I had no voice. You had no voice, I had no voice. There's so many people out there with absolutely no voice. And so that's why we come on and we do these shows, even though I'm completely taken aback and with surprise. I love this because I didn't know your whole story. And this is why we do it live, by the way. We were talking about that earlier because I'm just as surprised and inspired as everybody else is who's watching. All right, so we want to share all of Rania's contact information. Look, if you're feeling something, if you're in a bad relationship, if you are being abused, please reach out. Go to Harbor House, dial 911. You've got advocacy here in town. We are a good town about that.
Yes.
So if you're living in Orlando or you're watching anywhere, go to your local place. Don't keep the kids in it for a reason. Don't keep yourself in it.
No.
I'm not saying it's easy, trust me. I'm saying I know it's a difficult thing because you're so afraid. I get it. I remember the fear as a kid, and I can't imagine as a mom, a parent of 2 kids, dealing with that fear all the time. I'd lose my mind. God, I love you, Stacy, but you'd be buried somewhere and they'd never find you.
Oh my God.
If anybody was doing that to me or to my kids, I would lose my mind. So you're dealing with your own and your kids.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the thing. So
yeah.
she's dealing with so much. Don't stay in it. Please don't stay in it. Any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want to share before we head out?
Be we need to be unintentional heroes for others.
Amen to that.
So we need to be very, pay attention to our surroundings, pay attention to our coworkers. If we see something, speak up. If someone misses work or someone looks, having a bad day, ask them what's going on. Maybe you will be the one who would change their life. You never know.
You don't.
A nurse changed my life.
Right.
A nurse that night when she told me I would end up in a body bag, changed my life. So you could be the one. You could be someone's unintentional hero.
I love that, and she was, and you are obviously somebody's hero watching this, unintentional hero watching this show, because I guarantee you, whether we know it or not, later on, somebody's going to be impacted by you being vulnerable and authentic and sharing your story. I think it's just so critical that we hear more of this, because we want to empower the people to get out of those situations. Yeah. Remember, we're not only impacting the person who's being abused, any child or anyone who's in that household. It's just this generational thing that keeps going. And so, do you want your kids to grow up around that? Do you want your family to be around that? Mike Cluck says, Rania is the best, a true friend. Thank you for all you do. And Laura Abdul says, thank you for sharing, Rania. You're a joy. Oh my God, I'm so moved and motivated. I didn't know, so I got choked up a couple of times during the interview. Thanks for that, Pablo, for giving me a little heads up over there. No, I should have done my research, but that's what I love about this show. We get to hear real stories, nothing's canned, and you get to hear somebody speak from the heart, and she wants to help you. She wants to be your advocate. So thanks for being on the show. See how easy it was?
Thank you.
We love you guys so much. Happy Friday. Reach out. Don't do it alone. There's help out there. So reach out to me. Reach out to Rania. Go to Harbor House. Please don't sit there and deal with that and live another minute in that. We love you guys and support you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.